SpringDataJpa. All right, so we have a basic idea of mapping the database tables to the classes and then using entity manager class to interact with the database by using the entity classes. So the Hibernate is the final worker that do all the work, like the implementations or all the functions. JPA is just a standard specification that used to standardize the interfaces, annotations, and Spring Boot JPA, or sorry, SpringDataJpa is a framework that simplifies the JPA operations so that we don't have to directly use entity manager. We just need to declare what should the class do to the database. Then it will automatically do the work for us. So usually in our web applications, we have the data access object layer. So we call it a DAO layer. So let's just call a DAO class, and then we create an interface called, let's see, called dish repository. Okay, so this is going to be an interface that we declare to. This is going to be the class that we use to do the operations to the dish table. Okay, so all we need to do is we extend the JPA repository interface, which is provided by SpringDataJpa. Okay, so here we just need to give it, okay, this is going to be our entity, and this is going to be our primary key. Okay, so by declaring those two parts, and we can actually directly use this interface as an object in our code. So we don't need to write any code, any function, because automatically the framework of SpringDataJpa will implement all the methods that is declared inside this JPA repository. Okay, so if you look at the structure of this one, okay, and if we look at all the classes, okay, here, and so the JPA repository, okay, it has all the methods declared here. Okay, so we have a save, delete, basic CRUD operations, even including paginations. So everything is already being declared inside this interface. Okay, so let's just look at the diagram. Okay, and so this is our dish repository, and then JPA repository, pagination, and the sorting. Okay, and the CRUD operations. Okay, so all those interfaces are implemented actually already automatically by the SpringDataJpa. So by saying that, like after we declare this dish repository, we can simply in the code, okay, we can use AutoWire. This will be discussed in the Spring IOC part. Okay, so we can just simply inject this repository. It's called dish repository, and okay, so we don't need to write all those kind of things. So let's just remove them for now. And dish repository dot, you can see here we have find all. Okay, and then let's just print it out. Okay, let's see how it works. And we run the code, and it will print out all the dishes. Okay, you can see here all the dishes will be printed out. So because this find all is default implemented. Okay, also we can do find one. We can have a save method, and also we can remove, okay, or check exist or check count. Okay, so almost all the basic usage are already implemented. Let's see, I want to find the dish by name. Okay, we can write a method, okay, here. So let's just have a list of dish, and we can call it find by, okay, and name, okay, and the string name. So SpringDataJpa is so smart that it can automatically implement this method by analyzing the method name. Okay, so now let's see if I call find by name, okay, and a dish, what we have down there, we have a bacon burger. Okay, and now if I run the code, okay, you can see magically, right? So we didn't write any single code of this method. We just declare the method name, and it actually can find us this bacon burger, okay, by the name. Okay, so it's just because internally SpringDataJpa can analyze the method name, and then internally it will call the entity manager and then call JDBC and then create the query and then send to the database. So the same thing happens again. But from a developer's perspective, so we don't need to do a whole lot of things, just need to follow the way that SpringDataJpa provides us. So not just simple queries, maybe you can just find by name, and then you see there's a and we can do name, okay, and category, right? And also we can ignore case, okay. You can just ignore cases, okay, ignore cases, right? And then order by, okay. As you can see, all this is more like writing a query, okay. Order by ID, okay, descending order, okay. So you can just like write a method name like a query, and the SpringDataJpa can analyze this, okay. So we can put two parameters, okay, name and category. Okay, so here is very interesting. So SpringDataJpa basically is a convenient tool for us to automatically implement a lot of methods and without writing a whole lot of different SQL queries and using entity managers. But still, we can use entity manager because everything is working on JDBC and JPA and Hibernate, so it doesn't eliminate any capabilities of the previous frameworks. Like if you want to use JDBC, you can always use JDBC, you can use SQL queries, and if you want to use Hibernate or JPA, you can still use entity manager. If you want to use SpringDataJpa like convenient way, you can still stick with SpringDataJpa. So basically they work as the same like paradigm or ORM. It's just the degree of convenience, and the technology is created by different parties. Okay, so this is the basic idea of SpringDataJpa. Thank you.